Hello everyone, and we're back to watch more Spider-Man leading up to Spider-Man No Way Home. We finished Spider-Man 3, which wrapped up the Sam Raimi Tobey Maguire trilogy. Now we're jumping to another universe with the Andrew Garfield Mark Webb films, the Amazing Spider-Man films, starting naturally with the first film. And this time, there's not much of a title sequence. I mean, there's a little bit of title sequence, so we can immediately jump into it and talk about it. Like, I remember walking into the theater and just really enjoying this movie. And this movie got a lot of flack. I think just because it was like, really? We're doing the origin story again? But we know the origin story. We know the origin story is more than the origin of Batman. And of course, it was a running joke about, are we going to see Uncle Ben getting killed a dozen times, or are we going to see the Waynes getting killed a number of times? And of course, the answer was the Waynes. Now, the interesting thing about it is that they were diming with the parents, which was something they, of course, dealt with the comics. They had to change certain things, naturally, because they didn't have the rights to certain elements. Mainly S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, if Peter Parker's parents in the comics were S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, while in this they're scientists. Or at least his father, Richard, is a scientist, which is kind of taken from the Ultimate Comics. I mean, this movie, this is 10 years, clocking 10 years ago. So I probably was like 15, and I remember watching this, and I was just like, wow, this is an amazing film. This is a really good movie. And, even stuff like this of like, hey, here's, Peter tending his dad, and then he sees all this mess. He wants to know what's going on. All that type of stuff. It gives you a nice level of visual storytelling. No, I'll be 14 because this movie came out in July, didn't it? Yeah. I, I remember me crying in the theater like 4 times in this movie. Yeah, I teared up, and this is one of the scenes of you know Peter's parents giving Peter away to Aunt May, Uncle Ben, and the whole. I wanted this scene. I got so emotional when it's like, whoa, we're we're getting darker in. It's a little bit more mature, or it's a little bit like we're going to deal with like drama stuff inside this movie. We're gonna have emotional moments, and it's like boom, way up front. Now, Peter being a state boy, I'm like, fine, like, like, wow, that's nice, yeah. Oh, boyfriend's car. No, no. Hey, would you like to take pictures? You know, And also in this, they are kind of, because one of the quality of Peter is that he's a wisecracker when he's Spider-Man. Like, he just takes the piss out of the villains all the time. So they want to give you little sprinkles here and there. So if out of the blue he's like, making fun of Lizard or making fun of a villain or whatever, or some, mugger, he, doesn't come like, wait, this feels like two separate people, not they're one person. I mean, it's parsley, isn't it? Like, the Eugene line, that's, in a way, a wisecracker. Ooh. Eh. Like, of course, there's Gwen Stacy, which... Now, everybody who's like, oh, I thought Mary Jane was like the love interest. Well, Gwen Stacy was the first love interest for Peter in the comics, and then she fell off the George Washington Bridge and just, trip and fell. Wasn't like Green Goblin chucked her off or anything. And, the webbing broke the fall, or did it not? It was kind of like the Mary Jane relationship was kind of like friendships, a friendship that kind of born into something else. He got a punch across his face, and this is the movies, so he's fine. And of course, Peter's a person who keep calm with himself. Ooh, stealing meatballs. Yeah, okay, Peter, you are weird. Who doesn't like to go eat meatballs? Yeah, how dare you show your achievements? How dare you? I mean, to be fair, he wasn't stupid and dangerous. It was more. It has to be the freelance. It was one of the lines of being the middle guy trying to stop the fight. You know what? Realistically, the thing about Aunt May and Uncle Ben in like what's that, Earth 616, like 962, 63 onwards, Aunt Aunt May and Uncle Ben in the original comics are basic basic grandparents, and always look like they're about to pop off. This is kind of a realistic age where, like, hey, they're a bit older than say your average parents and all that, but you know they're, older but realistically older. you know. Uh-huh. I mean, he's gonna understandably so. He wants some answers when he finds the suitcase along with his parents, because the last time he remembers, they were saying we were going to come back, but they never did. At the age of like what, 7 or something. Like, one of the things I think pissed people off is, like, in the marketing, they were marketing this movie as the untold story, and we're like, it's, story Spider-Man, you just cut bits and pieces, add some things, but it's the same bloody story. It's not really untold, it's more, you just added things, like the parents, or you include the Westing thing, or whatever. But, here's the thing, like, it's all about, it doesn't matter how many times we hear said story, it's all about how you tell that story. And, because here's the thing, probably the biggest thing is, with Spider-Man, is like, okay, he gets bitten by a radioactive spider, or some science, a hand spider, and he, at a lab. How do we do that? How do we get him to said lab? Because we can't do the field trip thing, because that was done in the first movie, so we need to find a way to do it differently. So having Peter be this kid who is looking for answers, and he works at Oscorp, and da. Stuck alert. Now, the thing about Kirk Connors is that, well, I'll talk about Kirk Connors a little bit, later when we probably, see him and when we meet him and all that kind of stuff. What stuff? The thing about Kirk Connors is, it is 100%. That even when he's lizard, it's a very, okay, here's a dude who has lost his arm, and he's trying to grow it back, and he becomes a lizard, and then he thinks the best way to do it is hang out with the lizards. And the thing is, like, when he's lizard, yeah, he's a cartoon. He is a certain way cartoon. You want to pick a real lizard? Because I had his face, because no one was like us then. I mean, it's interesting talking about this movie because basically knowing that the first hour of this movie, outside like Gwen Stacy and web shooters and the orchard, is pretty much the origin story. So there isn't really much to add or talk about. Probably just how. Of course, Peter has a mind of a genius, so this is a way to show it. Second. I was going to mention this. Here's the thing about Lizard. Here's a fun fact. Sony was like, hey guys, you can use every villain that you want, but not Lizard. They were like so anti-Lizard. But at some point, they were like, you know what, fine. You'll get the giant lizard dude, fine. Still gonna let. Now, remember that they Sony released like 25 minutes of this movie, that after its marketing, and you're like, Jesus Christ, people, stop it. And then the Amazing Spider-Man 2 happened, and they're like, okay, why don't we just piece things together so we can watch, and realize you just showed us like an hour of the movie. Yeah. Anyway. Now, Gwen Stacy, like, the look of Gwen Stacy is very typical Gwen, the way it's like, hey, with the whole, the short shirt with the stockings and all that. Like, that's a very classic Gwen look. Definitely very, when we hear Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's definitely some, like, off-the-haze costumes. I know a lot of people got a little bit pissed that, like, he stole the web shooters. That he stole the web shooters. He didn't make them, and I'm like, it's a way to have them, Like, I get it. In the comics, Peter is basically Jimmy Neutron. He's a mini Tony Stark, a mini Wee Witches. But, you know, it's a way that Mike gets to be a little bit plausible how he can... Like, he's still able to put it in a wit, able to still, you know, make a web shoot of it. But also, I do like, you know, pre-bitten Peter, where he is a shy kid. He is a guy who's not comfortable in his skin. And this movie, if you think about it, is treated like it's an independent movie. It doesn't feel like it's a big blockbuster film. It's, you know, Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no. I mean, how are you gonna have a head if the boss dies? Because there's no one to fire. Well, again, there's like the second man in charge, which probably would be Harry, so... It's interesting with the Spidey sense because this is like the only time they really like showcase it. Now he's just like, oh, he has, you know, he just... Like, look. We're talking about a sticky situation. Hey-o! Yeah, like, this is the only time they really show Spidey sense. But... Oh, I didn't realize you hear the little pop sound. I know some people go like, oh my god, then the X-Men knows the thing where he's breaking everything apart. But no, Spy Sense. Hungry. I mean, he did win in several hours, so he's probably... Peter feels a little bit hungry. You want a spoon with that, Peter? I think it's that classic thing of it's the old thing. Don't criticize a wife's cooking, I guess. I mean, would that be sore? I mean, it's just a. I mean, if I had a bug crawling on my back. Look. And he doesn't realize he has super strength. Like this moment, I'm like, yeah. You know what? I think the whole concept of the bathroom breaking is like, okay, what is a very Dane thing to do, and just find out that you're breaking everything off? Well, him unable to just simply clean his teeth. Look. I mean, to be fair, that's just a paper. Paper can be glued to your foot, so that's not that major of a thing. Oh, this thing would be terrifying if someone is a fear of spiders. I mean, that's pretty easy to fix. It's just, placing it. And then he just limps off. Something that. Good something, not bad something. I'm like, choose your words carefully. You turn into a giant version of that animal. 'Cause the thing is, it's all about Peter being a smart kid. So, like, this is keep showing Peter's brain, because that's one thing about the other. Well, actually, no, in the MCU version kind of shows it a little bit. Is they never really show Peter's intelligence. How he's pretty much in a nutshell a gifted kid. But I'm not going to tell Aunt May or Uncle Ben that. So that's probably one thing that uh the one thing that probably a high school student wouldn't do is kind of like, whatever odd reason he wouldn't tell the people that he would tell everything to. Sorry. Of course, the confrontation with the confrontation between Flash and Peter, it's different. It's not a fist fight. It is make Flash look like a fool by mocking his masculinity in a way, or kind of do the whole thing of, "Hey Flash, you know how stupid you are." I mean, this Spider-Man is the most quippy out of the three, and like this scene, God. Jesus. Oh no. Oh yeah, don't say that. Don't. That's gonna be a. Yeah. Stop all that. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, in me in high school, I was like, and still am a little bit like, too much information, dude. Too much information. You have a filter. Use it. You know what? In high school, when I was like, hey, girl, hey, I'm into you. It sounds like a marriage proposal. That's where I was in high school. Sorry. I mean, the music for these two movies are really well put together. Very good songs. Oh, shit. I mean, one of the things. Oh, him pass. Well, away. Hey, away to have it swinging. Well, the webs yet, yeah. Oh, I was gonna say sorry. I blanked. So that could be very helpful. This is 2012. That could be great in 10 years later. In eight years later, that could be very helpful. When a vaccine comes along. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now you may also want to check that this rat is going to turn into a lizard rat. You may want to check on that. You know what? I probably can see maybe Sony thinking, knowing the origin story of Lizard is a dude, you know, you know what? I have yeah. I'm probably thinking Sony probably think the story of the lizard, the concept of the lizard might be a little bit too like they always want to accept that. Wow. I mean, also, like, I mean, if you wanted to finish the sentence, of course, the problem is if he's like, oh, let me finish this. Oh, here we go. This is a really good scene. I mean, the whole scene's great, but and everybody's like, shut up. I mean, it's interesting because the concept of Peter is that he's hothead, he's makes mistakes, and he needs to learn responsibility by sadly having his uncle die, and then that's how he learns responsibility, um, and having the one bad night, the one time where you become in a adult's mind a little shit, you become, you know. But by the way, people, I have to say this. I remember when people were a little bit hoop-harring about the whole thing of like, Uncle Ben didn't say with great powers comes great responsibility. Actually, he kind of did. Because that monologue is from the Ultimate Comics, where they didn't actually use the full quote. They just used the responsibility thing. Here's your milk. But in a way, Piers does a soft lifting. And there's probably cameras. So, Piers a little bit of a little bit, say, Piers a, oh. Now, quiet time number two. Quiet time number two. When we come to the death scenes in these two films, they really punch hard, and Andy Garfield's performance in this, like, oh my god, my uncle's dead, is like so. The, I remember people were comparing this to the Dark Knight, like it's dark, it's squishy, it's all that, and I'm like, no, it's not the Dark Knight. What you have is not Oscar performance, but like human scenes. It is interesting that they never went for the home invasion storyline. You know, and those are people like, it's dark. Peter, it's all Peter's so moody, so emo, and people explain this. Like, I'm like, he just lost his uncle. His uncle got murdered by some weird folk. Yeah, he has basically had a right to be a dick for a month. Like, you know, him. Yeah, it's just leave me alone, Gwen. Oh, excuse me. I mean, it's interesting how they tell the story that we all know, but also be different at the same time. Like, because if you just went, Beckenbauer Spire, Western where, a fight with Flash, and then, it's like we've seen that before. Yep. Oh. I mean, also clearly Peter's not thinking straightly because I'm like, yeah, Pete, are you really going to like look to every thug who has the same description, the same description, and you're just gonna punch him and kick him until you see their hand? Of course, this is the Easter egg hint to the whistling thing. That's the teaser photo for everyone. The interesting thing about it, like I remember like watching the behind the scenes stuff and how they want, because one of the funny things about Spider-Man, it's like this is a kid who has like a $200 like $100 budget, and he's able to make this remarkable suit. So they start thinking like natural ways. How do you have a kid who has that looking like, you know, dressing up into a Spider-Man outfit, and you think all these ways. I mean, here's the thing: the music is like, it's not Danny Elfman, okay? And it's not Michael Giacchino who done the MCU Spider-Man films, but it's good. It's fine. My guess, because it's Spider-Man, it's trying to be that like heroic, but creepy, crawly, webby type thing. Like, this is all practical. Please arrest me. I don't want to be in this web anymore. My guess that dude has back in the word, the fear of tight spaces. Why I yeah. Yeah. The shoe thing was kind of interesting. How they're like, oh, you just get some sneakers and you just saw in half. I mean, it's still a little bit like, yeah, White Pete, you $100 budget, you able to create that? Okay, yeah, sure, Pete, sure, Pete. But you know what? Like, a lot of people do say Andrew Garfield was maybe not a good peer, but he was a great Spider-Man. And Tobey Maguire was a good peer, but not a good Spider-Man. And Tom Holland was the one who was able to do both. Um, and this kind of shows it. What was the budget of this? No, because it would give you a headache. Oh, Okay, there's a couple of lines in that I'm like, "It's boys are blue here," and like, "That's how you pay me? I done 80% of your job. That's how you pay me." That line, but the whole stuff of like, no, we had the concept of the mask and the whole still inside the car and the cook. That's really good. Wise quipping, Spiderman taking the piss out of the cook kind of thing. Yep, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much how it would go. I mean, the drama in this movie is so good. Like the emotional scenes, the character moments. That's what I think when people say Dark Knight. It was like, not yeah. Like, let's have the Aunt May, Peter Parker scene happen a lot, from Spider-Man 2. Let's have that a lot happen for the movie. Like, he cares about his art. As in, I don't want you to see the industry. I mean, most of the industries that he has caused is getting getting hit by a van. Wow. I mean, Oscorp, evil capitalism. I'm wondering how much of like until Sony wanted to make their own Spider-Man universe, which they're doing their second attempt right now with the whole Venom and Morbius and all and Quaid. But but I'm wondering they had like their trilogy plan and then Sony wanted to make their cinematic universe with this franchise. I mean, this movie takes its time. Like, we are, just out of curiosity, we are like an hour in, and it takes its time. Yes, Spider-Man has showed up, but it doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel, okay, Spider-Man here. Okay, we need to quickly get the villain. We need to quickly have the action sequences, and we need to get the plot going. Forget the drama. Sorry, the drama is still here. The counter elements are still here. Hey, Clark! Hey, Clark! Still, hey, Clark! Is that normal when people have dinner? I'm accustomed to people having dinner around 5, 6 o'clock at late 7, but it could be the sense of visitors or work and all that, so it could be that situation. Also, with there's so much kind of weird corners here, because it's the natural of I want my arm back. It's probably enough motivation to be like, yep, he's just going to do the stuff he's going to do. Like, there was a scene, like a clip where, like, the doorman was blocking his path. And he had the Spider-Man suit in the bag and all that. Ooh. Yeah. Mm. Maybe don't put flowers in your bag. Maybe hold it. I mean, basically it's just fish. That's all it is. It's fish. Now, the thing about fish and seafood and other foods that are applied to, like, you just gut the animal and plug it into a pan, I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of here's the meat. I don't want to see the eyeball in the mouth attached to the damn thing as well. I don't want that. Oh. 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 It's fish. Why you just... yeah, yeah. Oh wait, we're having a friction between the father and the boyfriend, huh? mm. Yeah, that is so much offensive. Those are the of course, because that's when he realized, okay, I need to. And by the way, a lot of people talk about how all the scenes outside the store thing, out outside of the store fight, that how all the scenes are set at night. I'm like, he's a high school student. He has no time to have be in the daytime. Like, geez, of course, naturally, most of the action sequences will be at nighttime. That's the only time he can go out and do controlling. I like the concept that Gwen knows by movie one, and by like the first date, maybe not the first date, maybe the fifth date here, you tell your girlfriend that you're you're Spider-Man. Like Peter, yeah, Peter is a guy, he doesn't know how to, like, the mask helps him to say what he wants to say. I hate you right now, but oh my god, it's you. But how far is his spy sense? That's my question. Because clearly he's spotting what's on the bridge. But yep, yes you are. Yeah, big trouble. The webbing, or not the webbing. Maybe it's the fault, man. The webbing that yeah. I need to stop making the Gwen Stacy death jokes. I mean, we do. But here's the thing. Outside of the Spy Gwen thing, the only thing Gwen Stacy's known for is to die. Because she was like the very first comic book death of a major character and all that kind of stuff. Outside of core characters of the origin. Uh, who, who let Jurassic Park on the bridge? There's my quip. There's a little smart. Uh, oh. Yeah, not some, tell you a lizard. Like, this seems great. About, and that's why people got pissed that, he always takes the mask off. And I'm like, this is they do it naturally. They do, they do it naturally purpose. To make this kid feel comfortable, he takes off the mask. Imagine his name was like Ben Wiley or something. Imagine this kid's name was Ben Wiley. That could be something. Yeah, besides, oh, this was Cry Time number 3, I think. Yeah, this was Cry Time number 3. I do like the theme, like the heroic theme, because it kind of plays very well. It weaves in. It kind of works in any situation. It could be you can have a sad moment or a super white moment or angry moment, whatever it is, kind of works. Now I know some people are like, "What happened to the guy who, did say he was on the bridge?" And I'm like, it was because it wasn't needed. He was saved. Do you can still get those small TVs? I think you can, right? Yeah. Of course, you can't tell you. And of course, she can't tell her dad because it could be like, well, she would tell. That's how he would find out about Pia and you being Spider-Man and blah 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 blah. Trailer moment. Trailer line. Wow, Pete, you way forward. Wow, Pete, you really straightforward. What the? Wow, Pete, you're really you're very I don't know what the right word is, but anyway. Oh, there we went. Yay! Time with the families. The weird thing is about this is that the Kirk here isn't the same Kirk that at the beginning of the movie, and in a very non-fluent way. Like, if they took it as the Hulk, as in, like, I don't want to be this lizard, but being the lizard is taking over and it's kind of merging. Or as, what was it, the Spider-Man animated show from the 90s. Spider-Man the animated series, is he just stuck at the lizard. He just stays a lizard, like, and it's all about Pete trying to uncure him. Yeah, cure him. Oh, excuse me. Insert. Insert. This is what happens when you should. I mean, to be fair, if you just show the white lizard that will be part of himself, he will believe you. Yeah, now she called the police, but the problem is, giant lizard. You sound like a lunatic. Award of proof, huh? Of course, this is probably. Probably this is how they were going to do the holography thing and debut and make Peter not just a photo of Spider-Man, but be a photo of like all the villains. Which is not about, like, I think what it is they find it natural, but because sometimes the natural answer and what might be the realistic answer, but it comes for the audience as like, oh really, that's it. Because how Lizard finds out Spider-Man's Peter is absolutely, just a label just feels like, yeah, that's realistically, that's probably what it would be, but. I mean, that part of what we will all do, right? We'll just like, wait. And of course, we will see Lizard in the way home. So, that's cool. No, it's just, of course, a small lizard because we're lizard. The big giant lizard. Oh. Yeah, pretty much just let the current take you. Yeah, sucked, you stink, and you're hurt. Like, see, that would be probably a realistic way of like, oh, how would the villain know that Peter's Spider-Man? Well, he probably has he's probably gonna bring its account where it has a label on it, so he's probably gonna find it that way. But for the real answer and the obvious answer, for the audience, it's like, really, that's it, really. But well, a chocolate house would be very lovely. Also, has so go. Oh, that the classic thing of like, oh, the father doesn't want to deal with the women problems. You can't go for the kiss because it's gonna go ow yow. Well, technically, spiders are not bugs, so. Sorry, I'm just being quiet right now. Of course, classic Peter having the whole thing on his shoulders. Yeah, I could spring, right? Like, spring across buildings, right? See, I just realized most of the villains are kind of like Jekyll High, or at least bad scientists, right? Yep. There's a bit of. I was like, jeez, I just realized Stanley had was a big fan of Jekyll High, Hulk, Green Goblin, Lizard, having the inner monologue in their heads. Ah, dear. Of course, this is the okay. You want Spider-Man to start making fun of Lizard? Here's your like 3 minute action sequence of him doing that, and it's really well put together. I actually really like the design of Lizard. I know some people are like, "Where's the snout?" But I always felt like he looks more like a lizard. I always said like DC had Killer Croc. I always said like Killer Croc looks more like a lizard, while lizard always looked like a you know looks like a crocodile. And this he looks like a lizard. So I like the design that he didn't get the snout. That's what I'm saying. I mean, yep. See, go on wisecracks. No, oh, why was that was meant to be a reference to Gwen Stacy's death? A little bit foreshadowing, knowing what happens in the sequel. Still the best Stanley cameo. Yep, I'm saying it. That is the best Stanley cameo. Or at least one of the best. I mean, him being a split club DJ and in the first Deadpool. You can't find love, but you can rent it for free. That was it. For you can rent it for 5 minutes or something. You can rent it for $10, whatever the line was. Yeah. The interesting thing about origin stories is like clearly the first hour is the origin story, so checking out the villain and all that. And it's all about like, okay, you do the origin story, how are you going to handle the rest of the movie? Like, knowing that, excuse me, how are you going to enjoy, basically how are you going to handle the rest of the movie of, does it feel what? Does it feel you're going through the motions? Are you doing X, Y, and Z? Versus, it being, taking it. Does the film feel like it's taking its time? That's what I'm trying to say. Now, of course, there was a scene where the guy who was like, say, say Mr. Osborn, shows up in the lab. You have Lizard showing up in his in his lab coat to be a little wink, nod to the comics. But you know what? I kind of prefer. I felt like that guy's story was done. Like, it should be all about, stopping Lizard, stopping Kirk Connors, Peter realizing that he needs to go beyond just trying to avenge the death of his uncle, and the way he can avenge it is to be a superhero, basically. Ooh, what if Lizard grows to snout? Like this, resolution of Lizard No Way Home. That'd be quite interesting. No, that's not how it works. I would personally be dealing with the giant lizard right now versus, like, seriously, I would be dealing with the giant lizard right now than the guy who swings around in spandex. And definitely his goal is to turn everyone into giant lizards. This is a very lizard plot. That's basically, okay, you're doing what is the evil villain plan with the lizard? He just wanted to turn everyone into lizards, because that's a very go-to thing to do. You can't really kill him because, once again, lizard. You have to learn your reptiles. I mean, he might also be just, not Homelander. Yeah, Highlander. That's basically what it is. He's Highlander. There can only be one. Aim for the head, basically. That would take hours to do. Because, you're sliding it had to fit perfectly. Mother Harbor. Wait, taser guns. Star Tech? Hammer Tech? No, it could be Oscorp Tech, probably, if there was gonna be some weapons manufacturer. No, it's only a flesh wound! Like, literally, it's only a flesh wound. There's a little bit of my Python and the Holy Grail. It's a lizard, dude. It's a lizard. Let me help you. It's a lizard. You know, it's like it's a crocodile. No, that's DC. It's a bat. It's a bat. It's not man bat. Okay, one universe, one multiverse. Jesus. Of course, here comes the John Still, the movie. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, yep, there's John Still, the movie. Actually, there's two, actually. But anyway. The show, so they really were like, oh, jump scare for the film. We'll do two jump scares for Lizard. If that didn't work, we'll do the other one for you. You know what? This is so unrealistic. We're gonna be like, the government is, half of people would do it, but then it will be sweated, and then I'm reflecting New York with COVID. That's what I'm doing. So this is Quiet number 4, where I saw this in theaters. Because I mostly don't quite sad moments, and mostly the underdog, you can do it moments. I say Ultimate Spider-Man, that ain't gonna work. But again, Ultimate Spider-Man, he was literally bleeding to death when in the Ultimate Comics where they kill up here, and then Miles take over. So yeah. I just realized, like, CGI digital model, that would be a nightmare with all the textures, with all the like the basketball lines. Would that be a nightmare? It would be. Wouldn't be a nightmare, but yeah. Remember at the time we were like, Eddie Garfield episode have really well chemistry, and what we were really witnessing is them at the time, them being an item. We were seeing them falling in love. He has an aunt or a girlfriend. So that does that. Nope. Claw stab. That's a horrible way to go. Like bleeding to death. Ooh. Haha, it's the wrong antidote. So, haha, Connors. Down below. Just everyone go. Just get out of the way. Get out of the way because there's clearly some dead people. Yeah, that just happened. Okay, agree. Question them anyway. The mindset of like Lizard took over and Connor's now here, kind of thing. I mean, to be fair, the Lizard is like, you know what? For a villain name, it's very straightforward. So, what is this thing? I mean, he's a reptile lizard DNA. He looks like a giant lizard. So that's what it is. This scene, even though it is, this might be the most like early 2000 dialogue scene of like, you need to protect the enemies. You know, there's enemies there. You know, loved ones. You know, very superhero situations, and it's like it's a it's a well done scene. It's well acted. Um, but just the dialogue might be it could have been a little bit better. I won't lie. Every time so until we said in high school, I did drama, and every time there was acting thing and there was an emotional scene, I tried my hardest to do it like a Man of Steel, Henry Cavill, Andy Garfield scream. I went like, oh, I'm upset, I'm going to scream. Ah. I kind of did that a little bit. Yeah, when I did 2 weeks with the Queen, that play. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Oh, God's sake. That news anchor feels so Saturday morning cartoon. The evil criminal mastermind. I'm like, oh my God, what's this? Batman 66? See? I got the eggs. I guess he got the eggs after the fight, right? Like after the fight, right? You what? Aunt May knew. This Aunt May knows. She put point A and point B together. Yep. Really, no gunfire. That's mostly happens, right? Like one, and you know, and Elvis said no. That only happens with soldiers. That's, everyone showed up and said you. I mean, Kyle did showed up. Well, technically, it was like he was just up at the church. Oh, like a hand to hold type thing. Gotcha. Just a nod. Pete, a nod. You antisocial being. Nod, bastard. Nod. That's some announcement. Oh, you fixed the window. Oh, you fixed the door. Peter Benjamin Parker. We don't want to deal with this, Aunt May. Beware for that. This Aunt May. Near window, huh? Okay. You're a Hitchcock fan. True. But also, the whole thing of Flash Thompson being a fanboy of Spider-Man. It's the whole thing. He hates Peter, but he loves Spider-Man. That whole thing. I heard it was 7. I thought it was 7. Don't do it, Pete. Don't do it. You know, because it be your the web might break. The fall. Anyway, one more movie of like Gwen Stacy jokes. Jeez. And that's the end of the Amazing Spider-Man. And this is the ending. Let me start again. That's the ending. That's the ending of Amazing Spider-Man. And next time we'll finish our watch-alongs leading up to Spider-Man No Way Home. Some people may say, "What about Homecoming? What about No Way Home?" Time factor, dudes. Time factor. So we'll finish our watch-alongs with not on a good note, not on a high note, but on the Amazing Spider-Man 2.